Okay, I am going to have you work on this Unit 6 pre-diagnostic. So it's basically all the things that you should already know that will help you be successful in Unit 6. So I'd like you to try to do each problem on your own before you see what my answer is. So without an exponent, that means this is 10 times 10 times 10, because that little exponent tells you how many times 10 has to be multiplied together. So your answer would be 1,000. I know it's 1,000 because 10 times 10 times 10 has 3 zeros, 1,000 has 3 zeros. When you have a problem like number 2, we have to think of our order of operations, which is P, E, M, D, A, S. So starting with parentheses or any grouping symbols, and then your exponents. Then you do multiply and divide, and add and subtract is the very last thing. Multiply and divide have the same power, add and subtract have the same power. So in this problem, the most powerful thing is 10 squared. So if I write this problem, that would be 10 times 10 plus 3, which is 100. So then 100 times 5 plus 3. So then 500 plus 3. So my answer is 503. So we have to do that first because it had the exponent. I just wrote it out so you could tell why it's 100. Giant panda lives in the Washington Zoo. What does this point tell you about the panda? So when you're looking at a graph, you always want to notice what your labels are because it tells you exactly what's happening. So this graph is telling us how old the panda is in months and how much he weighs. So if we go on the graph to where we see the information, he is about, I would say about 35 months old because he's right in between 30 and 40. And he's just a little bit above 80 kilograms. So we're going to estimate at 35 months, he's about, I'm going to say less than 85. I'm going to say about 82 kilograms. So all points on a graph can be figured out by looking at your labels and then seeing where they line up on the grid pattern. You should also notice that your grid pattern is always counting, like skip counting. So this particular one is skip counting by tens on both directions. Sometimes it'll be twos or fives or hundreds. It depends on your data. So it says another panda weighs 90 kilograms, is 110 months old. So I'm going to go to my 110 because I always go across first. Here's my 110. And then I have to go up to the 90. So this is 110, 90. So this going across is our x-axis, up is our y-axis. So we always graph the x number first, the one going across, and we do the y second, the one going up or down. All right, let's go to the back. Sorry, it bled through. Decide what you have to do to find the missing value in each equation. It says you do not actually have to find the answer. So if we're thinking about finding a missing value, that is when we write a fact family. So because this is addition, I know I could turn this around and make it subtraction. So it'd be 82 and 2/3 minus 59 and 5/8. And that would give me my question mark or my X empty box. And in this unit, we're actually going to start calling these things a letter. So I'm going to say this one is X. So if this is 87 times X equals 9,526, my fact family would be 9,526 divided by 87 will equal X. And hopefully you're noticing, and this is what you need to notice, is that add and subtract are opposites. And we always use the opposite operation. Operations are add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So we always use the opposite operations to solve for a missing number. Okay, operations I'll put up here. The main ones you're going to use most of your school career are add, subtract, multiply, and divide. If you get into higher math, you'll start to have some other things. So here you notice we have add, so our opposite is subtract. Here we have multiply, so the opposite is divide. All right, the next part, you need to pause the video and see if you can select all of the expressions below that have the same value. Now these are expressions because they don't have an equal sign. A math problem with an equal sign, like these up above, are called equations. And you should notice that word equa is like the word equal. So expressions are just some math problem without an equal sign at this point. So we want to multiply 81 times 37 plus 59. See if you can find the matching values. Well, the very first one is exactly the same. Now the second one is multiplying by the 37, but not the 59. Now this is 81 times 37, and it's 81 times 59. This is actually true. So let's think about if I make this into a area model. This is my 81, this is my 37, this is my 59. That goes with problem number 1. Now if I do problem C, I'm sorry, this is A. If I do problem C, I could have two separate rectangles, 81 times 37 and 81 times 59. You'll notice that these will give us the same answer. Should my squares be the same size? Yes. 81 plus 37 times 59. Nope. 81 times 37 plus 59. Yes, this is exactly the same as A. They just changed the order. All right, that's the end of this video.